Hey guys, this is Hamon, and welcome back to Bytesize, a show where I review games that I've taken interest in. They have to be old, they have to be new, they just have to be something I'm interested in. And today we're going to be talking about Anuchard, a roguelike game, as far as I can tell, that takes place on an island that has since been split up from itself after the Guardians thousands of years ago left to do whatever Guardians do in this world, while the people, the Anuchardians, which, because the land itself is the namesake of the game, have eventually given up on them, in a sense. And dungeons that are about now have monsters in them, and if people go into them and are lost for a certain amount of time, their bodies are turned as statues, and no one knows why it happens and all that. Now, you're a child that is the assistant to the chief, as the, I guess, assistant, lore keeper, whatever job it is, I guess, that they do. And you go into the main hall one day, and the spirits of the Guardians are calling to you, and they give you what is called the Arduous Bell, I believe. And with this bell, they task you to go into the dungeons and to retrieve the souls of those lost in it. And it's interesting, as far as I could tell, with this one. I will keep playing it, that's for sure, because I do want to see what the secret with all the dungeons is, because for all I know, one person that's from the village might actually be part of the whole reason we're going through this whole ordeal of the statues and stuff. So, first off, graphic-wise, it looks really nice. I love the aesthetic of the world and all that. The characters are interesting in design and all that, with their tribal look, in a sense, because, you know, they look like islanders for the most part, like fully clothed islanders. But what I do actually enjoy about the backgrounds is that, one thing I noticed is that their houses aren't like actual buildings, they're yurts, from what I can tell. So it looks like these were originally like a nomadic tribe, from the looks of it, and that they just keep the whole yurt thing, you know, as a sort of thing, because you never know if they have to up and leave again. Now, in terms of the characters themselves, like I said, they have this whole islander type of aspect to them, but what I do also like is that they don't all have like the same look. Some of them are more skinnier than the others. Obviously, the children are smaller than normal, but they all have different hairstyles, different clothing tastes. You know, it's not just like, oh, villager A looks like villager B, and so on and so forth. No, they all have a unique style and thus have unique personalities and all that. I mean, hell, a character that I met during my first stream of this game was an elderly man, apparently, but was very energetic and very interested in giving us a free meal and all that. And with that, I was just like, oh, okay, that's interesting. I don't really have any issues. I love it all. The whole vibe of the place, it's weird. It doesn't look anything like it for whatever reason, but it gives me a Wind Waker vibe. Maybe because you're a kid that lives on what appears to be an island at this point, and you're living with your mom and, you know, helping out with the village and all that up until this point. You know, you're tasked doing this thing, and so you're on a big adventure now, and even though everyone's like worried about you type of thing. Now, in terms of gameplay, the gameplay is rather simplistic in terms of like the combat system and such. First off, it is like I said, it's a roguelike in the terms that it's a dungeon crawler, and if you faint, I don't know if it's game over yet. I haven't actually fainted in the dungeons. All I know is that you go around them, you fight enemies, you pick up materials and all that to help build the stuff, like in the village, or maybe something to help you upgrade your gear and all that. You go to the end, you fight a boss, you get the soul, and you head back. That's all there really is to it. I don't know if there's anything else to it, but that's basically it. If anything, it's kind of like Mystery Dungeon, but not like not necessarily turn-based. This is more like a roguelike, where everything's like you have to hit them right. But the combat is very interesting. instead of basic attacks, you have a light, a heavy, and then you can summon a spire, which requires magic that you can collect while you're exploring the dungeon. The spire's ability depends on what kind you have. You start off with one that heals you, of course, because they don't want you to just die every time you go in a dungeon because you don't have any way of healing yourself. But that's it. But apparently there are other spires that you can get that allow you to do more things. Like, I guess there might be one that allows you to attack, one that might allow you to be stealthy, and all that. Again, I would probably have to play more to get the full picture of what the spires can do. But the light attack is, your general basic attack, while the heavy attack, what it can do is that it allows you to send an enemy flying toward an object or a wall, so it does more damage. And in some cases, if an enemy is armored, if you do the heavy attack, it sends them into the wall and will break that armor. Now, if they have multiple layers of armor, that means you just have to do the heavy attack multiple times. Simple as that. And you also have to dodge using the same button as the heavy attack, as I've discovered since I was playing with controller. And I like it like that. It makes it simplistic. Again, now, as far as I can tell with the bosses and all that, it seems like they're just bigger versions of enemies you've already faced. But that's probably because I haven't reached the point where there's like more unique enemies and all that, or that you meet like the main antagonist type of deal, if there is one. But it's still a very interesting thing. Like, I like the simplicity of it all. Makes it easier. And with all that said, I definitely would say if you want to check this game out, I would recommend it. It's available for free on Xbox Game Pass as long as you're a subscriber of the Game Pass service. Otherwise, it's available on the following consoles or PC, I guess, at the price that is following with them, if available. And with all that said, I want to thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, fave, subscribe, all the usual stuff that they do to get to know when the next one comes up. And if you want to see me play games more often, you could always check out my Twitch. And again, with that said, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye!